Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Donna. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I am doing my 18 in 2018 Project Pan finale. It was my very first project pan in which I picked 18 things out of my collection to try to finish up this year. I had a lot of fun with Project Pan. I learned a lot in Project Pan, and I am going to jump into it right now. We're going to start with the things I did end up finishing. So I did end up finishing the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea Marine Boosting Mist. This is it. I finished this by using it in conjunction with my dampened beauty blender. I would spray some of this on it to get it more damp or re-dampen it, I guess, if you will, and ended up using it up in a very short amount of time. This is just a refresher to your face, and I thought it did wonders to help me keep my beauty blenders damp, and that's currently what I'm using my e.l.f. coconut mist for as well. So finished that up. The next thing I finished up was this NYX pore filler. This is what it looks like. I hated this. If you guys are familiar with my channel, or even if you go back through all my Project Pan videos, this was awful. I hated this. I will never ever. This was the end-all speak-all for me as far as pore filling primers went. Real silicone base, real slippery. I realized through this that I actually kind of hated those kind of primers, and I won't waste my money on them anymore. This one also kind of came out like worms. It was gross. I'm really happy to have that out of my collection. This was the next thing that I finished. It is a Tarte 12-hour Amazonian Clay 12-hour blush, and it was in the color Feisty, which is very reminiscent of the color of the packaging. I loved this blush. It was my favorite blush, and it was kind of a very bittersweet moment when I did pan it. There is still little remnants of it on the outside, but definitely not enough to take out, repress into the middle, so we're calling quits on that one. The next thing I was able to finish was this. It is an e.l.f. 3-in-1 mascara. It was a mascara that I bought when I initially first started using mascara, which I didn't always use. This is what the wand looks like. It is a rather scary looking wand. I enjoyed it, not enough to ever repurchase it. I just didn't think that it did a whole lot for me. And to be frank, the wand was a little too scary for me. The next thing I have in here is this Color Correct Expert palette by Hard Candy. You can see that that guy is all gone. There's some little staining in the pan. All four colors have some staining in the pan, but this one was a super easy thing for me to pan. The wells in these pans though are quite deep, so if you do, I loved this. I loved this thing and would probably repurchase it in a heartbeat because it's only $5 and it worked amazingly. I loved it, but I have since purchased other color correctors that I'm trying to feed through before I go purchasing something else. So now we're going to talk about the things that I am going to throw away, that I have decluttered, that I know I will not use in the future, that have gone bad, those kind of things. The first thing is this. It is the Ulta Beauty Maximum Lashes Mascara. This guy is just a regular mascara, and really there's nothing wrong with it, to be honest. This is the wand on that guy. I just don't think that I will get enough use out of it anymore. I have found mascaras that I prefer, and a lot of mascaras with this wand. I do like this one. It is a decent mascara for the price. It's been in my collection for this past year, and it needs to go. You're only supposed to keep a hold of your mascaras for roughly 3 months before you throw them away. I have to be honest, I don't do that. I keep a hold of a mascara until I'm done with it for the most part. But this one has been in my collection. It's just not one that I'm reaching for, so it's going to go. This is going to go as well. I think you guys heard me talk about this in my faves and flops for November. I did try. I really tried to use this product, but I just don't like it. The brush on it is not bad. It's a nice thin applicator that could really help you build a thin line or a thick line depending on what you're looking for in a mascara. I mean, not a mascara, in a liquid eyeliner, but I find that it's not how I work best with my liner. I need something that's a little more stiff, but not quite as stiff as a felt tip, so I do need a brush applicator. I just don't need one that is super thin and super flimsy, and this one was that. This also doesn't dry down entirely matte, and I prefer a matte liquid liner, and it's sticky, so it kind of creates this crust, right? Which sounds gross, and it kind of feels gross, but it's not gross because you know what it is. But it kind of creates this crust right on my eyelid right there where near my lash line. It feels just awful. So I won't be able to finish this. Even if I kept it in my collection for the next year and tried to pan it, I know me, and I know that this won't get used. The next thing I have that I am tossing is this guy. I am really proud of myself though, because this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in shade 103. And I really have to say that I hate this foundation. I purchased it because it supposedly, according to Pinterest, is a dupe for a foundation that I really, really loved. It was the NARS Luminous Weightless foundation, and it was a dupe. And it really kind of felt like a dupe, but it broke me out so bad when I was using this. I would put it with other foundations just to try and use it, and now it kind of just smells sour. I used it the other day on my face, and when I started to put it on my face, I could smell it, and I was like, there's something wrong with this. It needs to go. I've learned that I shouldn't try and project pan a foundation that I can't stand, because it's not going to happen. I am super proud of myself though, because I don't know if you guys can see the lines on here, but this guy is probably about down to here now, so there is not much left, and it was relatively full. It was clear up to here. Can you guys see that line? It was clear up to here when I started. So I'm proud of the accomplishments that I made on this, but this guy is going into the trash can. There is one more item that I wanted to talk about that isn't in my setup here, and it's because I decluttered it to my daughter. It is the Too Faced highlighter that I had in this project pan. I just wasn't getting enough use out of it, and I was going to hold on to it until I did this video. But my daughter came to visit in September, and ever since I got that highlight, she has begged and begged and begged me for it. So last September was no different. She begged and begged and begged me for it, and I finally just gave it to her. The Too Faced Love Light Ray of Light highlighter. It was that pinky tone highlighter in the look like a diamond cut highlighter. It was that highlighter. I just didn't like it when I first got it. When I first got it, I loved it. After a few uses of it, I just didn't like it. It showed all the texture on my skin. It didn't sit well at all, and it was just not my favorite. So, like I said, she had begged me for it from the very beginning, so I elected to give it to her when she was here in September. So I do not have that to talk about today, but that is an item that I would have decluttered to her anyways, so I just gave it to her. So now some items that I'm almost done with, and they are this. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion, and it is in anti-aging. This guy has a little wand to it, and I don't use the wand. The wand I just feel like is ridiculous to try and use. I might have another, I dropped it, so I can't show it anymore. But I might have another use out of it, maybe two. It's down to the extent where I'm like squeezing the tube and then having to bend the top to get anything out onto my fingers. So I know that I will be done with it by the end of this month, and I am so excited about that. I have so many other eye primers to use, and to be honest, I'm like not a person who uses eye primer every day, so the fact that I am done with that is ecstatically exciting to me. The next thing is this guy. I really feel like he's maybe done, honestly, but this is the Tarte Shape Tape concealer, and it is in the shade Light Neutral. I don't know if you guys can see that. We've got this new setup, so I'm not really sure what's not blurry and what is. This guy, if you guys are familiar with my channel, I bought because YouTube made me buy it when I first started YouTube. It was the most talked about concealer at that moment, and I used it a couple times and I hated it every single time. I swear I'm the only person on the planet that hates this concealer, but it makes an awesome concealer for my eyes, which is what I have been using it for the last year. So when I want to do a cut crease or when I want to do a halo eye, I use this for that purpose. The reason why I say I think it's gone is because I can't really see how much is sitting at the bottom of this tube, but when I try and get any amount of concealer onto my hand to, you know, pick up on a brush to do a halo eye or a cut crease, I just don't get that much. I get some, just not much. So I think I'm going to cut the stopper out of it and see if I can't dig a brush down into the bottom to just get out the rest of it. But this one is almost gone as well and will probably be gone by the end of this month, depending on how many cut creases and halo eyes I do between now and then. The next thing I want to talk about that is almost done is this guy. It is the Hard Candy Color Corrector Stick. It is the Expert Stick. So this is different from the Expert Palette in that it is just one color and it is a stick, and this is all I have left. So I don't see myself being done with this by the end of the year, but I got really super far with this, and I will finish it off within the first couple months of 2019, so I'm really excited about that. I do use this pretty much daily when I'm filming because I will come in and use it to touch up any areas of my foundation that I feel like is kind of like moving or wiped off because I've eaten, or like under my eyes where, you know, my under eyes are like discolored anyways because I've got giant bags. So I will use it before I film. I really feel like I've gotten a lot of use out of it, and I feel like I'm going to continue to get a lot of use out of it. It doesn't smell it yet, and it's still just as creamy as it was when I first started using it. So I'm confident that I can be done with this by February. The other thing in my collection that is almost gone that will probably just be tossed is this. It is the Arbonne lipstick. It is what I called my mystery lipstick, mostly because there's only that much left, really. It's not a color I wear all the time. It is a color I used to wear often, obviously. It is a lipstick that I think I got from my Mimi, who is my grandma. And therefore, it is so flipping old. I couldn't even tell you. And its counterpart, I had another one. Its counterpart already went into the trash can because it smelled so bad. This one doesn't smell that bad. But I just think it's too old. And honestly, I have a lot of lip products, a lot of new lip products, and I just need to get rid of that. The next thing I have is this. It is the Physicians Formula Murmura Butter Bronzer, and it is just in the shade Bronzer. This is it. You guys can see the pan on that. I don't feel like the pan has gotten any bigger in this, and I have used it several times, especially over this last month, just trying to get more pan out of it, trying to get more use out of it. It still smells decent. It doesn't have an off-putting smell to it yet. I'm gonna keep it around through the next year until I get it used up. I'm hoping to be done with it by June because I don't foresee me using it very much beyond that point. Once the sun comes out here, this is not the bronzer I will be using because it's just too light. It does show up kind of, but not a lot. Definitely not a lot. It is right here on my hand. I don't know if you guys can see it. On my pale skin, it works okay, but on my tan skin, it doesn't work at all. So if it's not gone by June, I will be decluttering it to the trash can. Another thing that I have used a lot but doesn't seem to be moving or making any progress is this guy. This is my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in Stereo Rose. This is a color that is discontinued, and I love this blush. I will tell you, I've made a grip ton of progress on it. It is like there is a dip in it, and I know that you guys can't see that on camera. There is a dip to it. It is fairly well used. It is a product that I absolutely love and I use often because it's a blush that I can put on my cheeks that's just so beautiful and sheeny that I also don't have to wear a highlight with it, and I'm old AF. So the more powder products I put on my face, the worse it is for my texture and my skin showing through, not my skin showing through, my texture showing through, and that's never good, right? So it is a blush that I use often for that purpose. It just will probably last me for the rest of my life, honestly. I don't see that this is going anywhere. When I hit pan on this, I will probably have a party because I have used the poop out of this and it's just, I don't feel like it's anywhere near pan. Two other things that I use the poop out of that I don't feel like are anywhere near pan that were in my project pan are these guys. They are Single Shadows by ColourPop. The first one is this one. It is Locked and Loaded, and it is just a basic cream colored eyeshadow. And I don't know if you guys can tell on camera, but there is quite a bit of a dip into it. I use it every day, or used it every day, to set my eyeshadow primer, and I've kind of gotten into this place now as, you know, a makeup lover that I don't use eyeshadow primer all the time, so I'm no longer using this every single day, but I do use it enough that I should have hit pan on it, and there's just no pan. There's just no panning this. ColourPop shadows last forever. The other one that I use a lot and has not hit pan but was in my project pan is this one here, and it is in the shade Cute Alert. It's in the shade Cute Alert, and again, I don't know if you guys can see, but there is quite a bit of a dip in this pan. It's just never going to hit pan. I firmly believe that ColourPop shadows are made for a lifetime, and that's what I have to say about them, because I've had these shadows for over a year, and this one I was using every single day, and it's just not hitting pan. So now on to the last of the items in my project pan here, and they're items, to be honest, that I have not used very much at all. The first one is this. It is my Urban Decay Vice Lipstick Palette. It comes with a cover and a giant mirror, which I think is awesome. And then you move the cover, opens like a door, and these are the shades. So I have to say, I love this palette. I just don't reach for it very often, and I wish I did. I wish I reached for it more. The reason why I wish I reached for it more is because there are two shades in here, this one here, and this right down here, that I never use, and they have those bumpies on them that are, you know, reminiscent of going bad. Those are those two shades there. I just never wear reds, number one, and never wear this color of purple, number two, although it might look It looks decent on top of that. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I just never wear those colors, and they've got the like bumpies on them that are very reminiscent of, you know, this is a product that's going bad. The other ones in that palette I have used in the past, and I do like them. I really like the Vice formula. I really think it's beautiful, but because it's in a lip palette, I just never reach for them. I have seen some people that I watch that do effects makeup and like really beautiful like scenery makeup type stuff. I have a friend named Caitlin that I watch and a friend named Veronica that I watch on a regular basis that do special effects makeup, or, you know, seasonal like makeup where they paint things on their face and their body. And how would you explain that? What do you call that? I'm just not sure. Anyways, I've watched them use lipstick palettes like the ABH lipstick palette and this one to help create some looks on their bodies. So, like, I know that you can use lipstick other places than your lips, but I don't. And I just don't reach for it because it's in a palette. The last thing, let's see. Yes, the last thing is this, and it is the Origins Checks and Balances Frothy Face Wash. And to be honest, I think I've used it 3 times since I started this project pan. It's just not my favorite. It's not one that I like to use. I don't feel like it froths enough. I don't feel like it cleans enough. I've found cleansers that I like better, so I haven't used it. I will try and get some use out of it in the next, you know, few days until the end of the month. But I really just foresee this just being a product that I will probably declutter to my daughter or someone else, because it's just not a product that I prefer. So that, y'all, is my project pan finale for 2018. I have to really sit and think about whether I'm going to do this in 2019. I really do feel like I made progress in a lot of the things that I decided to pan. I just know that I am bringing so much new into my collection for the most part on a regular that I never ever can seem to concentrate on just one thing. If I do a project pan for 2019, I will do the 2019 project pan intro next month, and it will be for far less items than what I did this year. I feel like I just had way too much that I was trying to pan, way too much that I was trying to concentrate in my like very infantile year in makeup. So what I mean by that is that I had big high aspirations that I was going to be able to use all these things, and ended up not being able to use all these things because I was still in a place where I was collecting makeup. So I just was bringing too much in to be able to concentrate on using stuff up. So with that being said, I hope that you guys liked my 2018 project pan. Please go back and watch from the beginning. It is a fun process. It was fun for me to film. It was fun for me to do. It was fun for me to watch and edit and upload all these videos, because I got to see how things were being used in my collection. I learned a lot from project panning. One of those things is that in your infantile stages of makeup lovingness, you just can't commit to panning stuff because you're just still continuing to bring stuff in. I also know that as a person, I know a lot more about myself now with makeup and what I prefer with makeup, that I wouldn't choose to pan things like, you know, a foundation that I hate. I also know that it would go bad before I ended up panning it. So next year's pan is going to look quite different if I decide to do that. I hope that you guys are having fun. What did you pan this year? What project pans do you have going? What project pan ideas do you have that you'd like to see me do next year if I do a project pan? And I hope that you guys are having a blast and having a great holiday season. Thank you so much for watching my channel. I hope that you enjoyed this video enough that you want to give it a big thumbs up. It really does help my channel. And I also hope that you liked it enough that you'll consider subscribing. I upload content 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or Sunday, depending on how my work week goes. And I would really love to see you guys in the comments section, as I do still have conversation every single time I get a comment in my comment section. Thank you guys so much for joining me today again. Until next time. Bye, guys. So this is what happens when you put makeup on your hands and then keep dropping makeup, and I got makeup on my face right here. Some of that Tarte Shape Tape that was on my hand ended up on my face. I don't know how long that was there, but you're welcome. I hope you got a good laugh, because I definitely did.